Hey ecofictologists, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lovis and welcome to another round of TBR MASH. This is my monthly TBR game that helps me choose 3 books that I'm going to read in the upcoming month. Just a roll of the dice and a combination of prompts, and then I consult my TBR database to see if I have any ecofiction titles that would satisfy those prompts. Check out the playlist, linked probably up here somewhere and in the description below, for the previous months, and if you want more detail about how everything works. But it's kind of fairly self-explanatory once I start playing, so let's just dive right into it. It's not a long, rambly kind of day for me, so let's just go. Okay, roll number 1. 3. So we've got contemporary YA, inspired by something on YouTube or social media, and takes place in North America or written by a North American author. So roll number 1 was a contemporary YA set in North America or written by a North American author and inspired by something on YouTube. So looking at the options that my TBR database spat out with my little bit of code, I hope you enjoyed that, I think I'm going to read The Highest Tide by Jim Lynch. So I had a look at the readathons happening in the month of July, and granted, when I'm filming this, it might still be a little bit early for all the announcement videos to have come out, so a few more might come out in the next couple weeks, but I did find one that intrigued me. There's one called the Mermaid Marathon, hosted by the Brightside Girl, and that runs from the 27th of June to the 10th of July, so it is happening in July, and that is all about books with mermaids, pirates, nautical themes, ocean, that kind of stuff. And anyone who knows me should know that that is right up my alley. The notes that I took from my database say that Miles is a 13-year-old boy and he finds a giant squid on the beach when he's walking along the beach, and he becomes a media sensation, and so he kind of has to juggle that as well as juggling puberty and his first crush and his parents' rocky marriage and the risk that potentially his beautiful bae that he loves so much might be disappearing. That sounds lovely to me, and it sounds different than what I've read before. 13 is at the younger end of YA. It's round about the age that Scat by Carl Hiaasen was, and I really enjoyed that, so hopefully I will also really enjoy the perspective of someone in that age range. So hopefully I will enjoy The Highest Tide by Jim Lynch. Okay, roll number 2. Too much vigor, but it was a 5. So we've got a sci-fi that's middle grade, that's indie published, set in Europe. Roll number 2 was a middle grade sci-fi set in Europe or written by a European author, and it has to be indie published or self-published. These options really excite me. I am excited to read more middle grade, and there are some author names on here that I have had my eye on for a while that I would love to get stuck in, so actually the hardest part here is choosing which one. I think I'll be going for Where the World Turns Wild by Nicola Penfold, which is about 2 young siblings who live inside like a walled city. It was walled to keep a certain disease out. It's called Rewilder's disease, but these 2 siblings are immune to this disease, and they want to get back to nature because everyone inside the city is disconnected from nature, but when scientists and the government kind of find out that they might hold the key to immunity to this disease, they have to run for it, and they run out of the city and hoping to find safety as well as potentially finding their mother. So it's a book all about reconnecting with nature. It's a book about family. It's a book with sibling relationships, which I do love, and it's a middle grade book, and it's Nicola Penfold, which I've heard very, very good things about. It sounds great, and it's on audiobook, which I'm excited about. Love me an audiobook. So I'm very much looking forward to reading Where the World Turns Wild by Nicola Penfold. Okay, roll number 3. Yeah. 2. Fantasy. adult fantasy inspired by something on social media set in Asia. Role number 3 was adult fantasy set in Asia or written by an Asian author and inspired by something on YouTube or social media. This was tricky. My TBR database didn't spit out that many options, but because I did have this something similar last month and I asked you for help because I knew it would come up again, and some of you were kind enough to leave me some recommendations and suggestions down in the comments of the June TBR MASH video, and so I went back to consult those. And I think I will be taking Qwordy's recommendation and reading The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. It's a beastie. It be thick. I have heard so much about this book on booktube. It's very popular on booktube. I haven't heard of it having environmental themes, but in Qwordy's comments, they talk about the effect of war on the environment around us and also using the environment in warfare. So even if it's not so prominent in the first book, apparently the series has some environmental themes. So that's good enough for me. That counts in my head. So I will be diving into this large, large book. The basic premise of The Poppy War is about a girl named Rin who takes the magical empire-wide test and passes with flying colors to the surprise of everyone. And then she goes to the academy and has to kind of confront prejudices and resentments based off of her ethnicity as well as her class and her background. And she discovers her shamanistic powers, which come at a time when connection to the gods could be very useful because the country, it might be at war. I am kind of struggling to find something on YouTube or social media that would kind of fit the reading of this, but that again might be because the announcement videos aren't up yet, so if they are, I might pop a little edited section here. But for now, even if I don't find one, what I'll do is that I will join a bunch of booktube reading sprints. And that's what I will use to get myself through this book. So that is The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. Yet another fantasy series started, which I'm apparently very bad at continuing series. I'm great at starting series, not so good at continuing series. But you know, we can dream. Okay, those were my 3 roles. We have The Highest Tide by Jim Lynch for YA Contemporary. We have Where the World Turns Wild by Nicola Penfold for middle grade sci-fi. And we have The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang for adult fantasy. We've got quite a nice spread. I like it. I like it. And now we will find out what I will be drinking and where I will be reading. 2. I'll be drinking red wine with Max. I should be able to manage that. I'm super excited. These sound like great reads to me, and the fact that 2 of them are audiobooks bodes very well for me because I do get through audiobooks quite a bit faster than physical books. I think it would take me forever to read the physical copy of The Poppy War because the audiobook is like 19 hours long. But so was Jade City, which I just read this past month and enjoyed very much. So I have hope. I have hope. Let me know down in the comments what you're reading this month and how you choose what you read. Are you a mood reader? Do you take recommendations from somewhere? Do you have your own TBR game? Let me know. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I post every Wednesday all about reading and writing ecofiction and how it can be used as a science communication tool. If you're looking for a little bit of community around your ecofiction, then come and join us on Rewilding Our Stories, the Discord server we started to be a safe place, a safe community for book nerds of all kinds to come and just nerd out really over environmental themes in fiction. If that sounds like you, then the invite link is in the description below. And that's all from me. So happy reading, and I'll see you next week, ecofictologists.